research, there really is a need for it. There's a void in the art community here that needs filled. So much of the art community has been developed, but there's that last cog that just needs to happen to keep our artists interested and staying in this area instead of searching outside of our community for this final need. So I just started looking around and saying, well, if we're going to do this, what would attract other artists, inspire other artists from outside our region to come in and be inspiration and help people see what's going on in other parts of the country, maybe other parts of the world.
Oh, yeah, right.
The primary goal is to establish an art retreat, a full-service, full-blown art retreat. This includes sleeping quarters, a commissary, work and learn spaces, galleries, performance areas, the whole 9 yards. We'll have meeting space. There'll be a lot of space that's used for different things. It'll ebb and flow. The spaces will ebb and flow with what's going on at that current time. We're planning to offer memberships. So, for instance, you can come in and work as you need. If you need a space to work on a big project or a smaller project, or if you want to come in and meet visiting artists, you can do that with your membership. We'll have weekend to 3-month stays at with the sleeping quarters. Commissary will be open to the public and serve the public. So when they come in to see the galleries, come in to see a performance, come in to see what the artists are doing, because it's fun just to watch the artists develop a painting, develop a sculpture, develop, some kind of glass blowing project. I mean, this is going to be a broad genre of the arts. So we're looking at a lot of incredible learning experience, not only by the artists, but it'll be an incredible opportunity for the general public to come in and see what is behind that piece of glass, what is behind this piece of art, that kind of opportunity. We'll focus on collaborative projects between the different sciences and the arts. I personally have a passion for holograms. So the hologram thing started with my junior high teacher. She found out that there was a Salvador Dali exhibition in Ohio. She packed us all on a bus and said, you're going to go meet Salvador Dali, his artworks. It was an incredible thing, but one of the things that was there that blew my mind, and I just kept walking around and around it, I couldn't believe this thing, was this little hologram. And it was a lady just blowing a kiss. But back then, you never heard of a hologram. You had no idea such a science could exist. But I've watched the hologram. I've stayed and monitored what's going on with the hologram world since that time, which was decades ago. And I've seen it develop to where today they have holograms so realistic, and that it's a hidden science that not a lot of people know they've developed to this point. But I actually saw it on the internet, and it was only there a short time, and then it was pulled down. I don't know who pulled it down, but somebody pulled it down. But it was a Bengal tiger pacing the room. And it was so real, Chad, that this father brought his little girl in to see this Bengal tiger. She started screaming and crying and grabbed her father. He had to take her out of the room. That's how real it was.
Wow.
So you have to have an artist to make something like that happen, Chad. It just doesn't happen on its own. These are sciences marrying with the arts. Digital is a science marrying to the arts. There's a Facebook page called My Modern Met, as in the Met Museum in New York City. They stay abreast what's going on globally. And I mean, some of the most outrageous things are going on with artists who are marrying to the sciences. even the medical world is now looking at doing holograms for classrooms so that the student can walk around a brain, divide a brain, open a brain, see a brain from all sides. It's amazing what's going on with the arts and the sciences.
Yeah, right. Describe to the listeners, what is a hologram?
Oh, my goodness.
We're not going to see it on the radio, but what is a hologram?
Oh, my gosh. It's taking an object that is actually a living object, that's a moving object, and it's actually, they use lasers, thousands of lasers at this point. They're using thousands of pinpoint lasers to create from all sides this living, moving object and make it live and move and make it appear as if it's actually in the room. WCCC is actually working towards that. They're doing 3D printing, which is another art.
Yeah.
And they're really big into the 3D printing. And when I talked to the director of the sciences that's behind this 3D printing technology that they're building up, I told him, I said, I cannot wait for the day I walk into your building and you have Bengal tigers protecting the property.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to walk through a Bengal tiger to get to the classroom.
Yeah, and they do that out at the ATC.
One of the things that Westmoreland's reimagining strategy has called out as something really important to turn this small, this region's dwindling size and to bring people back in and using our region as a place to live is the arts. I mean, it's so important. You just look at what Greensburg's done. You look at what Lawrenceville has done. Mm-hmm. Both of these communities and other communities, I'm just pointing out two of the communities that have had the foresight to say, we have this space. What are we going to do with this empty space? Well, the arts are known to revitalize communities. I can tell you, I lived in California for 30 years, Southern California. Laguna Beach, believe it or not, was actually a dwindling community. Today, it's this big tourist, amazing place where people love to go. It's got a great vibe. I mean, that's the other thing that the arts bring in. People with a creative mind, people who are excited because they can create and they can build things and they can make unusual things, and things are just always happening. And the performing arts, the visual arts, the arts just are people who like to see things happen, and it brings a positive vibe to the community. And we can do that. I mean, it's doing it right now in Greensburg. That's something our local community can relate to. Yeah. It is doing something to Greensburg. You can see the impact that the arts are having. You can see the impact that it's having on Lawrenceville. I went up to Lawrenceville for one of their art walk nights. It just so much reminded me of what Laguna Beach did for itself. I mean, you saw the people, the streets were packed with people just wandering up and down, people stopping and buying things, enjoying the local bars, and they had games, they had just artists on the street doing art. It was great.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
Art is important to every community, and, Westmoreland County.
This is something I really wanted to get across to listeners. The reason we're losing artists to the big states, New York, California, the reason they're going away is that last cogwheel, it's not in place. We need this retreat to happen. We want to keep our best. We have all these schools educating our artists, and teaching them how to become the best artists they can be. But they're going off to another place to practice their arts where they can get more support. To keep them here and build this retreat is going to take a large fund.
How was the event on Saturday, October 5th, the 70s Pop Art Festival? and do you have future events for fundraisers?
Oh, yeah. Yes. The Pop Art Festival was really fun. It was our introduction to it. Gave a chance for the whole community to come out and not only participate in their annual festival, but it also gave them opportunity to meet us. So we had made 4x7 canvases and stretched canvases, and the people of the community came in and they put their imprint on these canvases. It was just a ad hoc community, painting. And what was the funniest part, Chad, was these children, that came in dressed in their best to be at a festival, and because we had house paint that was donated to us, all different colors of house paint donated to us, and as the adults that had pulled this event together, we were kind of going, "Oh my gosh, Grandma, she dressed them up in their best, and here they are with house paint."
Oh, really?
It was fun to watch. But what we did in the end is we donated one of the canvases that came out exceptionally wonderful, and we did donate that to the local library, and it was something else. And we did a 5-10K run to kick off the event, and that was really well received. We had handmade medallions that we made at AB Ceramic. I want to give them a little shout out and thank you. AB Ceramic and Jeanette allowed us to make handmade medallions. They helped us out with that.
That's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, the Chamber of Commerce was a key part of the reimagining our Westmoreland, the comprehensive plan for the county. Do your plans fit the Westmoreland's reimagining strategy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there's an entire section in the strategy that talks about the arts and the impact of the arts, just how it impacts. I mean, if you don't have the arts and you take the arts out of the school, that's one thing, sadly, they did in California. But the nice thing was it gave us parents with an art background an opportunity to step into classrooms, become a part of our children's learning education. Because if you take the arts away, they learn no cutting skills, no coordination skills. Mm. You just take out all these skills in the imagination, increasing the ability and to imagine things and to think things through. How is this you start here, how does it end? It's something that it's just not rote. It's just not memorizing. It's teaching people to use their hands, their minds, to think ahead. So it's important. The arts really have an impact on the community in that it starts in the grade school, it continues on through high school education, and then you take it into the community. And these minds that have been learned to, if we start with this little thing here, if we start with this little change in the community and we catapult it into this, we can turn this community into something completely different, and it'll give it a completely different vibe. So the strategy recognizes that, and they call it out. They clearly call it out and say, we need arts to revitalize these towns. We need artists. We need people who know how to, see the future and see beyond what's right now. And let's make something vital.
I totally agree. I'm your host, Chad Amand, President and CEO of the Westmoreland County Chamber of Commerce. Our guest today is Jane Altman. She is the founder of River Artworks. Jane, how do you see River Artworks fitting into the regional arts?
Well, our goal is to augment, Chad, provide a broader opportunity for the local arts. We had talked a little bit earlier about how important it is to have this last cogwheel in place to create a complete working machine for the arts. Right now, Greensburg and Lawrenceville have done an outstanding job in revitalizing their communities through the arts. What this art retreat will do for people is, for artists and the community, is provide a place for artists to come and focus, maybe a weekend, maybe 3 months. They'll be there to learn to create beyond what they're doing now, have a focused time, a very dedicated time to increase their art talent. And it's just so important. It's something that if you look at the states who are extremely successful in supporting their arts, there is quite a number. New York has 38 retreats. The state of Pennsylvania has 5.
Oh, wow.
It's a big void. It's a really big void.
I brought up no margin, no mission.
Yes.
How can the listeners and the residents and all of our community help to impact River Artworks?
Well, first, I'd like to say, need donations in order to do the restoration of the property. We also need the artists to step up to the plate and come in and really come into our monthly meetings. We do have monthly meetings, Chad. They're every second Wednesday, 6:30 at 462 West Main Street in Mount Pleasant. That's the former McCallie Tavern.
Yeah.
It was my restaurant.
Right.
So we're using my restaurant right now as the meeting place every second Wednesday at 6:30. It's right on the town square beside the Doughboy statue. It's the mansion beside the statue.
Yeah.
And we need artists to come and support this, to show support, show up to these meetings and help guide where we want to go and how we want to go about making this happen. One of the things you asked me that I didn't quite get to the answer, but a future event we have planned. It's really fun. It came from the My Modern Met Facebook page. I have to tell you, it's a lot of fun to watch. We are planning an art tournament. What this art tournament is you have 3 different groups of artists, 6 artists, and they compete for the best. Whoever gets the most applause, so this would take community attendance to come and vote for their favorite artists of the night. But each artist is given a canvas and 20 minutes to create a painting. And then the community that's on hand votes for their favorite out of those 6. Then you do another round of 6 and another round of 6, and you take the top 3 artists, and they do a final competition. And at the end, all the art is auctioned off.
Now, they have to be good artists for 20 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that just brings our top artists. It gets exciting. I put it out there already on Facebook as something that we want to do. And I'm actually getting response from some of the artists that have moved to New York saying, we would come back for that.
Oh, really?
We would participate in that.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, go on to riverartworks.org. riverartworks.org. Jane, any other quick summary for the listeners?
Well, we're excited about this project. Very, very excited about this project. We're looking forward to building a community, changing a community. We're looking forward to the arts being a catalyst to making that happen, and having this opportunity to not only serve our regional artists, but to make a place that is so welcoming and so attractive that it actually creates a space that people from outside our region want to come in and participate, so that we have more of a global look at what's going on and global ideas. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It really is exciting to see this transform. It's already, I see just in the last year, I've started this not this August before, I started looking into this. That was the very first look into this project. And since then, it's really amazed me at the talent that this project has brought forward.
Well, you're a talented impact on our community. I thank you very much. You've been listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on Hometown Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. Go on to riverartworks.org, riverartworks.org. Thank you very much for being on the show, Jane. I thank you very much for your impact for our community.